focused on affordable health care, Chiquita Brooks Lazor.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, New Jersey. Even though I now live in Virginia, both my husband and I are from the great state of New Jersey, so it feels like I'm at home. I really want to start by saying thank you to everyone here and to say how important your work today and leading up to today has been. Before I became the administrator for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, I served as the co-chair during the Biden-Harris transition, and I can say with full authority that being part of a transition team is instrumental to making sure that an administration can hit the ground running. And so just thank you to everyone who has participated in this process up until this point, just the tremendous work that you have done with giving surveys, giving of your time, speaking today. I know I was inspired by our meeting that we just came from, and I hope you all were as well. As the Lieutenant Governor-elect said this morning, the country is watching New Jersey. It was an incredibly uplifting night to see a leader with such integrity be elected to the governorship. That is worthy of... And so we talk about and really appreciate everything you are doing to make sure that she can hit the ground running. I'm focused on healthcare. I know healthcare is not the only thing, but it is an important thing. Healthcare is important for all of us at some stage of our life, whether we personally experience it or look to a loving family member or helping people through the process, or if we live in this world, because healthcare is a fifth of our nation's economy. It is our workforce. It is so key to people's lives and livelihoods. And this year has been an incredibly rough year for the healthcare world. Yes, it has. It's been sobering. Earlier this week, I was at the Lyndon B. Johnson Presidential Library, and we were talking about his accomplishments, the Voting Rights Act, and Medicare. But it was a sobering moment and a sobering time. In healthcare, we have a big budget hole to fill. $1 trillion was taken out of the healthcare system earlier this year. $1 trillion. It's a lot of money. It is multiple billions of dollars taken out of New Jersey alone. But we're going to work as a transition team to try to come up with strategies to really help the governor, again, to hit the ground running, but with the soberness, the knowing that this is going to be a difficult road, but incredibly important to making sure that New Jersey stays strong. So just a huge thank you to all of you across your teams. There are 10 action teams who are working, just all of the interdisciplinary task force, the elected officials who are here. You're going to make sure that this administration is the most successful yet. And with that, it is my pleasure to turn it over to the next generation, a fearless advocate for young people's safety. I know I'm counting on him and others to make sure that my daughter grows up in a safe world. Please welcome Adam Rentu. Sorry that I messed that up. I have a difficult to pronounce name and hate when people mess it up. Adam Rentu. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adam Renteria. I am 16 years old, and I've been involved with Governor-elect Mikey Sherrill since September. During her campaign, I talked a lot about mental health and the struggles I have experienced due to a series of events in my life. I was bullied throughout elementary school, and I struggled with anxiety and depression. Then, middle school came around, and within the first 3 months of 7th grade, my big brother died by suicide. While at the same time I was being molested by a peer in my new school. The following year, after I changed schools and was trying to recover, I ended up a victim of violent and disgusting threats communicated through major social media platforms. To say my mental health was a wreck is an understatement. Despite all of that, I consider myself lucky. Why? Because I ended up at a therapeutic school where mental health education and resources are part of everybody's day, stigma-free. Nothing like it was at my prior schools. Because of my experiences, I've become an advocate for youth mental health resources in schools across New Jersey. I believe that is the foundation of a successful future, a foundation that should be set in stone as early as possible. One of the best places to build that foundation is the place where kids spend most of their adolescence, in school. I am fortunate enough to go to a therapeutic school where resources such as a school psychiatrist and therapist are available and woven into the curriculum. The personal growth I've experienced myself and seen in my classmates due to these resources being available is tremendous. Having them in schools across New Jersey could be life-changing for so many students. Mikey Sherrill is prioritizing the mental health and safety of New Jersey's kids. She is a great leader because she is responsive to feedback. I am here today because of a chain of events that started with my mom offering our house to the campaign to film ads. The ads being filmed were focused on teen mental health and online safety. The campaign team listened to my mom tell our family story and asked if she would be in one of the ads. She told me about it, and I said they should talk to an actual teen if they really want to know how to help us. My mom relayed that message to the campaign, and the next thing I know, I'm surrounded by lights and cameras being interviewed about my ideas and experiences. Next, my mom was asked to join a press conference about online safety for kids, and she asked if I can come along to observe the experience. Again, Mikey's campaign one-upped and said not only I could come, but they'd love if I spoke for a couple of minutes. So I did. A couple of weeks later, they asked me to speak at her rally with President Obama. I spoke to a huge crowd in Newark about my life and told them that we kids needed them to go vote for Mikey. Then she won the election, and I thought I just finished up the coolest experience of my life. But Mikey didn't stop there. She asked me to join the Transition Action Team on youth mental health and online safety. She is actively seeking out voices like mine. Again, because she is a great leader and genuinely cares. And I can tell, and so can all my peers can tell, how sincere she is, because we can always tell when adults are full of it. Mikey Sherrill knows our voices are just as important as the experts because we are the experts in being a kid in today's world. We may not know how to fix it, but we do often know what needs to be fixed. And there are things that sound great on paper as a policy, but we as kids can tell you that idea is not going to work in reality. Mikey understands that, and she understands that at the end of the day, it's the kids who feel the effects of these policies and programs. She is creating an environment where our voices are heard and we can be a part of the solution. I'm grateful for it all and for the opportunities that have come my way, all because she cared enough to listen. Thank you, genuinely. And it is now my great honor to introduce Governor-elect Mikey Sherrill.
It is wonderful to see everyone. Thank you all so much for taking part in this meeting today. I really appreciate it. Adam, wow. It's a double-edged sword to be introduced by you. It is such an incredible honor. but then I get really choked up, so it's hard to carry on with my speech. But thank you. You just are such an amazing individual, and I really feel lucky to have you on the team. So I appreciate that. I really had to laugh, too. I have 4 kids, 3 teenagers. So, yes, they do know when we're full of it. I've been told that on more than one occasion. I also really appreciate Chiquita Brooks LaSure being here and really helping with these transition teams. Your expertise is so wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. We are all doing this work for so many reasons, but one of those key central things that motivate all of us is making sure all of our kids here in New Jersey have a bright future. And so I just always know exactly why it is I fight and who it is I fight for. And I know each and every one of you here feels the same way, and I am so happy to have you as part of this. It's truly meaningful work that we're doing. As I've told many of you, I've always really felt as if public service to our community, was a higher calling, something truly special. And I know none of you had to be here today. I know all of you are volunteering, taking time off work and away in the holiday rush from probably all of the things you haven't done yet. I know I have a list a mile long, madly sending things to my husband that I need from Costco. So I really, really appreciate all of you here today. It just warms my heart to know how dedicated so many of us are to making sure the future here in New Jersey is bright. Over the past month, as all of you know, we've hit the ground running. If I have heard any complaints from the action teams, it's the timetable, and I do apologize, but as we would say in the Navy, time, tide, and formation, wait for no one. We are moving forward, and we have our deadline of January 20th as we want to get this government set up and running. I will just tell you that I know we've had so many people rolling up their sleeves, digging into key issues from housing to New Jersey Transit to utility prices to keeping kids safe online. And I believe that coming together for conversations like these is so important. I tell people that I ran this campaign by listening to thousands of New Jerseyans, and that does not end now that the campaign is over. That's actually when the work begins. And I am proud that we have people here today, and we have consciously built all of our teams to represent all of the voices across our great state. It's why we've launched the public survey, and we've heard from almost 7,000 people, and I encourage you to keep pushing that out so we keep getting responses in and know that we're on the right track. It's because the role of government, I firmly believe, is to serve the people, to make people's lives better. That's what we're all here to do today. And as you know, that's what I intend to do as governor. On day one, I'll freeze utility rate hikes, making sure we get right to work. Over the first 100 days, we'll start to cut through red tape, permitting to make it easier to navigate government, to open your small business, to support your family. It's why we'll get new energy projects onto the grid as quickly as possible so we can continue to drive down costs. And in our first budget, I'm going to be making sure our kids are set up for success with mental health access in schools and by holding big tech accountable. And make no mistake, we have big challenges ahead of us. I have said to some of our partners, look, we're going to have to do some really hard things together. Some, like many of you in this room, have reacted to that with almost a sense of mission and purpose and a desire to start to attack those right away. Some, I think, thought, oh, God, not me, right? Because we know it's going to be tough. but we know our families deserve better. So we know we got to do it. And we know we've got to face head-on the cuts to things like SNAP and Medicaid coming from Washington, D.C. We've got to address summers of hell on transit and how we're going to have dedicated funding to get people across our state to their jobs, to work, to their doctor's appointments. We have to make sure that federal government, which is undercutting the economy right now, is stopped in its tracks as we work hard to address and invest in those things that are going to make our state stronger and more resilient. Things like our public schools, our economy, our rights and freedoms, just making sure that we are addressing those things the federal government's trying to stop us from doing, like the ban for states enacting legislation in artificial intelligence, which we will be fighting. And I will tell you, and I have told people across this country the same thing. There is no better place to take on this fight than in the great state of New Jersey. I've spent the last almost 8 years in the federal government. And in fact, I've spent most of my life in one form or another, whether at the U.S. Attorney's Office, in the Navy, working nationally for things we care about. And as I've done that, it always strikes me when I come home that this state has more grit, determination, resilience, dedication to our communities, to our families, an understanding that when we all do better, we can all do better in a way that is very unique to the Garden State, in a way that we are going to take advantage of as we move forward and show the rest of the nation what it means to drive a good economy, what it means to create jobs for everyone, what it means to make sure every single kid in this state has a shot at success. That's what we're fighting for, and that's what we can do here. And so whether it's hosting the World Cup or being at the crossroads of the revolution, our nation's 250th birthday, we have every opportunity to shine and to show off this state. So I need you. I need everyone in this room and beyond this room. I need you to get into your communities as we drive success and change, to make sure that everyone who loves this state and wants to see it thrive can help us out, can let us know what is it that's keeping you up at night, because I've told people, if it's keeping you up at night as your governor, it's going to be keeping me up at night. That is what I pledge to you. So thank you. Thank you all so much. As we have had people who are so excited about dedicating themselves to this effort, I can tell you, every single day that goes by in this transition, I feel more and more confident about what we're going to be able to create. So I will end by saying this. We have a tough job ahead of us. Alone, I can't do it. But with all of you, with the people and the communities you serve, I can't fail. So thank you all so much. I sincerely appreciate it, and I look forward to getting to work. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us at the Policy Summit. Enjoy the rest of your day. For all press in the room, please make your way over and meet us at the Press Riser.